What's going on, ladies and ghouls? You might be wondering why I have a picture of Dana White on here. I'll get to him later, but anyway, this video is about two fighters that changed the UFC. First of all, this boring piece of shit motherfucker, horrible, horrendous, shitty, fucking moronic idiot. You know when you're in school and you see people cheating on their test, you see people going out of their way to cheat, and that goes for anything, even legal loopholes, just people trying to find ways to cheat anywhere instead of, actually studying. This is one of those idiot, moronic assholes. I could make this fucking video a lot longer talking about this dumb shit. He comes out of AKA, some of the best fighters in the world, but he doesn't improve. Nuh-uh. Instead, this is what he does. The flawed system of MMA judging. He's probably thinking, if I can take people down, hold them down, just barely do enough to not get stood up, of course the judges are going to give that round to me. And the next one, and the next one. Fuck trying to go for the finish, being a true fighter, forget being a killer, forget being one of the best fighters ever, forget even trying to be a legend. Just round win. Round win. That loophole in the flawed judging is what he used. Like I mentioned, instead of actually trying to actually fight, and it's not like he doesn't come from a fucking killer camp. He does. But this is the way he changed it. He wasn't bringing shit to the table. He was doing the opposite. People were tuning out for his fights. They weren't supporting the whole event because he was fighting. That's how fucked up and stupid and moronic this idiot was. So guess what? As soon as he lost, he got booted. You're done. And everyone was like, oh, what? He was a top 10 guy at the time or whatever. One loss, you're fucking done. When other fighters who have losses remained. And that just goes to show you, hey, the UFC is a business. They're about making money. It doesn't even matter if you're in the top 10 or wherever you are. If you are boring, if you're a round winner, if all you do is take people down and try to steal rounds and work the system, you're done. You're not a true fighter. You don't bring nothing to the table. You're not a needle mover. Bye-bye, Phil Davis. And by the way, you can see a video of this moronic idiot right here. Link to that is below. Ben Askren. Now there's fighters that see how the UFC treats boring, moronic assholes, and rightfully so. They should treat them like that. Shouldn't even have them in the UFC. Now they're not even signing with the UFC because they know how they're going to be treated. Bye-bye, idiot. Like I said, I made a video of this Ben Askren, horrible, horrendous moron. Another one. He goes, F that, I'm not even going to go into the UFC. He's a piece of garbage, dude. Piece of garbage. And then you have Joe Dumbfuck Hogan. Oh, I'm very upset and kind of mad or whatever, surprised. It sucks that he didn't join the UFC. He's over at ONE FC now. Joe Dumb Shit Hogan. Like I've said a million fucking times already. I've talked too much about this moron. And by the way, you can see a video that I made about Joe Hogan where I talk about I hope he doesn't sign with the UFC. I hope he stops. Just get out of here. You can see the link to that below. The link to the Ben Askren video below in the description as well. That's the way he changed the UFC. UFC used to be about having the best fighters in the world, right? Fight. Even if you're in the fucking top 10, you could be gone. If you fight, I shouldn't even say fight, if you fucking do whatever these idiot, moronic, horrible morons do. And that's basically take advantage of the system and round win. That's not fighting. You're done. You're out of here. Good. The next fighter who changed the UFC, Brock Lesnar. Of course. Why do you have this guy on? Well, let's go back a long time. Brock Lesnar, he was on Stone Cold's podcast, and he said Dana White wouldn't even take my call. I literally had to go over to a UFC event, grab him to get his attention. And he convinced Dana White to sign Brock Lesnar with only one MMA fight, right? Convinced him, because Dana, he wasn't having it. And I could make a fucking long-ass video about dumb fuck Dana White, which I probably will, who knows. Stay tuned. And Brock Lesnar brought in more eyeballs, more money, more attention than any UFC fighter up to that point. All their homegrown heroes that the UFC had were trumped by Brock Lesnar, who comes from professional wrestling. So that just shows you Dana White does not know shit about pro wrestling. And the what he does know this. He always compliments Vince on what he has done with the company. And let me tell you why. That's because the UFC is going down the exact same road that Vince and the WWE paved many years ago. There's so many similarities, but that's where his knowledge stops. Because clearly he doesn't know shit. He's learning though, and it's not like he doesn't know shit because he just doesn't know. It's because he doesn't want to know. He is very hard-headed. That's a disadvantage that he has. Vince is out of touch. Dana White is out of touch. But at the same time, Dana White is hard-headed and doesn't give a F. And that's his downfall. That he doesn't know shit about pro wrestling. And how did Brock Lesnar change that? Well, other than bringing more attention to the UFC than anyone ever before. Well, what is he doing now? Can you answer me that? I'll tell you. He's going around to different WWE athletes and asking them if they want to fight. Does that ring a bell? Who's this a picture of right here? Who's that a picture of? So, Dana Dumbfuck White went from not even taking Brock Lesnar's calls to signing a guy who is 0 and 0 because he knows that he will bring in big bucks, big business, eyeballs, and money. That's what I'm talking about. Number one, get rid of moronic, horrible shit fighters that are taking advantage of the system instead of actually fucking trying to be true fighters. Get the fuck out of here. I don't care what ranking you are. F off. And then you have him signing fighters who don't even have a fight, dude. Because he knows that they're going to bring in money, cash, baby. Thank you, everybody, for watching.